Good discussion tonight. We're talking about educational savings accounts, often called vouchers. Two people who know a lot about it. They certainly support that. Let's go to Reverend Fuzz. Reverend Fuzz, great to hear from you.
Okay, being real quick, an abbreviated question. Chalk, you made questions. You kind of substantiated what my question is. Why do these vouchers have to take away resources from the public school system? Why is that the argument? Where and why do vouchers take away from public schools? Why can't we just have the vouchers and have public schools?
Because that would require a lot more funding. That's actually a very interesting question. Yeah, why not have both? What you're doing is penalizing public schools. But you understand his question, so go ahead.
I do. And Reverend Fuzz, good to hear from you. We continue to lift up a tall prayer. Hope that your health is doing well. Why not spend money for both? I mean, so one way to think about this is every time a student moves out of district, that's it. That money goes away, right? You could consider that by the same logic. You would consider any student who moves from Nashville across the line in Goodlettsville and moves to Sumner County, that's lost money for Davidson County. But we don't stop that, right? This is actually the ESA, less money transfers, right? Because you lose 100% of the student, but you only lose about 65-70% of the cost. The rest of those dollars stay with Nashville. So you actually have more money per pupil. So, everybody's eyes glaze over when you start talking about money. But I think really the fundamental principle is we think it makes sense to let the funding follow the student, let the dollar follow the scholar, not the other way around. We're not interested in paying for brick buildings that frankly for the past 11 months have been sitting empty. We want to fund families to get the resources they need. Now, I will say something interesting about this bill. This specific program, which is very different from a lot of programs around the country, it actually does replace money lost, dollar for dollar. It replaces money lost for, I think, and Braden can correct me, 3 years after the student leaves. So for 3 years after a student goes and participates in the ESA program, Nashville will collect money for that. That's frankly unheard of, but it's something that the governor was really passionate about. And so I think it kind of quiets this argument that money is being taken away.
Okay. All right, Reverend Fuzz, there is the answer to your question. We have about 3 minutes left. Braden, what do you want people to take away from this?
Well, first off, I want to join Shaka in sending up prayers and blessings for Reverend Fuzz and good health. We definitely need you around and part of our community. Thank you for calling in tonight. But, the most important thing is the point that I want to reemphasize is that schools exist to educate kids. Kids don't exist to fund schools. So the principal objection we've heard over and over again is what this will do to funding of the schools, when the main thing that we should be talking about is what the schools are doing to educate the child. That's the main thing we should be talking about. Shaka talked about the fact that the way this program is structured, it goes to great lengths to make sure that there is, in fact, actually not a defunding of public schools. And that happens on two levels. Number one is the fact that 100% of the funding does not follow the kid. Only a portion of it does. It's a net gain for the public school. And number two, as Shaka alluded to it as well, but the way this program is funded has a hold harmless fund, which operates to ensure as a backstop for the city's school systems that they do not suffer any financial penalty that arises from the school choice program. So to me, I don't even personally think that the schools losing the funding is an objection, but the way the program is structured is in such a way to make sure that doesn't happen. So I just think, we need to be talking about what's the next generation of educating our kids, and this is it.
All right. I think we have to leave it there. Are you okay with that, Shaka? Sorry. Thank you both.
That's great. No, thank you.
Thank you both for coming on. A good discussion, and so I appreciate you both for coming on. Thanks very much. We are going to take
Excellent.
a break.
Thank you.
We will come back, wrap everything up, be back right after this.